Just because next-generation consoles exist, it doesn't mean you should be packing away your Xbox 360 just yet. There's plenty of life left in the old machine. Here are 7 upcoming games that you'll only be able to play on the current gen. If we'd have been asked to put money on it, we wouldn't have guessed that the video gaming equivalent of repeatedly slamming your fingers in a car door would be popular. Surprise, it is. That's why next year we'll be getting a sequel to Dark Souls, which will look considerably prettier even on the aging Xbox 360 hardware. The concern was that the game had gone soft in order to appeal to a larger audience who had come across wide-eyed tales of survival on video game websites. Still, as anyone who's been mashed by this guy can attest, it's going to be just as hardcore as it ever was. Apparently at E3, Namco Bandai were handing out a special t-shirt to any games journalist who could beat the Mirror Knight boss during the demonstration. No one managed it.
You gotta consider her a living person, that's it. You're either living or you're not. You ain't little, you ain't a girl, you ain't a boy, you ain't strong or smart, you're alive.
Even if you didn't play Season 1 of Telltale's Walking Dead adventure game, chances are you saw the accolades it got, from the Spike Video Game of the Year award to numerous websites gushing about how beautiful and emotional it all was.
Yeah, I was in pieces.
Yeah, I got really choked up, like I was like...
Yeah.
Indeed. Season 2 will continue the story of Clementine as she fends for herself in the harsh world of the zombie apocalypse, with your choices from Season 1 affecting the way things play out in Season 2. Episode 1, All That Remains, hits XBLA on December the 18th, with 4 more episodes to follow in 2014. It's just for current gen, sparing Xbox One owners the emotional turmoil of actually having to play it.
People are scared of you. I mean, look at your face. Who'd you get in a fight with? A Fable, right?
Speaking of Telltale, their other episodic adventure game series, The Wolf Among Us, is also a current gen exclusive. Based on the Fables series of graphic novels by Bill Willingham, The Wolf Among Us is set in a world where fairy tale characters live alongside regular humans and are all hopeless wrecks of people.
Have my limit for bullshit, and I think we reached it 10 minutes ago.
Cheery. You play the big bad wolf, here a private detective known as Bigby, investigating the murder of another Fable. As with The Walking Dead, the decisions you make change the way the game plays out across 4 more episodes set for 2014, so expect all that punching woodsman and being rude to pigs to come back to bite you later on.
Nice.
A mere shadow of your former self.
Shadow, am I? What do you want, old friend?
Clearly enough of a sleeper hit to warrant a sequel, Castlevania Lords of Shadow was a gorgeous romp through a reboot of Castlevania mythology. In the sequel, you return as Gabriel Belmont, now known as Dracula, but it's revealed that he's slept in to the tune of 1,000 or so years, presumably because the snooze button hadn't been invented in the Middle Ages. It's now modern times, but if you think that means no leaping around soaring Gothic architecture, then worry not. What has changed is that the game will be far less linear. After a guided introductory chapter, you'll be free to run around hacking, slashing and neck-nipping in your choice of visually spectacular area. But the best news? Patrick Stewart's back. So in.
It is time to get out of this wretched tomb you have made for yourself. Stop skulking in the shadows.
I lived through it all. Beatdowns, the backstabbing, disrespect most people wouldn't see in 10 lifetimes. And I never lost a fight. Until now.
Murdered Soul Suspect's premise alone is enough to get us interested. You play a dead private detective who has to solve his own murder by possessing objects and people and interrogating ghosts. He gets to keep wearing the hat as a ghost because the hat died too. The good news is it feels like an original concept. LA Noire crossed with Capcom's DS Ghost 'em Up Ghost Trick crossed with no-clip mode from Doom. Bad news is it's being made by Airtight Games, the studio that made the distinctly average Dark Void and Quantum Conundrum. We'll see how it turns out when it releases on current gen in 2014.
You imagine when you're dead, there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. But here, there are things far worse than death.
It's like we're right back in the bad old days of Street Fighter naming conventions, though at least this one has lost a bit of weight since Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition. Ultra Edition can be applied as an upgrade to Super Street Fighter 4 whether or not you have the Arcade Edition, and its main purpose seems to be to smoosh a load of characters from Street Fighter Cross Tekken into a fighting game people actually want to play. That means Poison, Hugo, Rolento and Elena are free from the shackles of interminable tag matches. New features include Red Focus, which allows you to absorb multiple hits, and Ultra Combo Double, which allows you to deploy both of your Ultra combos in a single round. There's also a new character yet to be revealed who has never featured in a Street Fighter game before, not even in the background, which means the world will have to wait for that Zangief vs Mayor Mike Hagar showdown.
There it is, the Inn of the Giggling Donkey. Paladin, are you sure the Bard is hiding out in there?
That's what Twitter says.
Carrier Raven Butters!
Sorry, that's what the Carrier Raven says.
We were supposed to see the South Park RPG, The Stick of Truth, in 2013, but due to a bunch of issues, not least original publisher THQ going bust, it'll finally be arriving on current gen in March 2014. Where previous South Park games have been less than inspiring, The Stick of Truth stands a chance of actually being good, thanks to being developed by Obsidian Entertainment, the developer behind Knights of the Old Republic 2, Neverwinter Nights 2, and Fallout New Vegas. It's been delayed so many times that even the South Park TV show is now making fun of it, but we're still hoping it'll be worth the wait.
I have a nice lance that she set upon, the maiden from Stoneberry who is also your mom.
Alright, there are 7 games that mean it's not quite time to put the Xbox 360 out to pasture just yet. Which ones are you most looking forward to? Let us know in the comments, and like and subscribe for more from Outside Xbox.